Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome to the Pugilistic Linguistic Show. I am your host, Michael Foster, the voice of reason in an increasingly unreasonable world, and I am back. Before I get started, like I say all the time, tell your friends, tell your Romans, tell your countrymen about this podcast, about this YouTube channel. Try to get more eyes and ears on it in 2024. Like, share, subscribe, love, hate, cheer, jeer, whatever you want to do. Like I said before, if you don't like it, get with somebody else and hate it together. That is okay with me. Now today, I'm going to attempt to do something that I admittedly will probably fail at. I'm going to attempt to be a specialist on what's going on in the Middle East. I'm going to attempt to be this geopolitical whatever. But I'm going to do it from a perspective of, in my mind, is common sense. I'll get there. Don't worry. I'll hold your hand and I'll get you there. This will be difficult because that region is just so complex. There's so much going on there to unpack. And I'm going to attempt to do it and probably fail miserably, but hey, nothing beats a failure but a try. So let me start out by saying this. Israel has been a state since the late 40s, 47 if I'm not mistaken. So that's roughly what? Let me do some quick math. 87 years. So Israel has been a state for 77 years. See, that's what I get for trying to do some traction. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know the ins and outs of its creation. I've never researched it, but I will say this. For at least the latter part of the last 30 years, Israel has forced the people of Palestine, I guess that's what Israel used to be, has forced them out of their homeland into a certain area within the country or within the region. And for that reason, there's been a lot of conflict. I mean, the region has been in constant conflict. And the thing is, I kind of understand the Palestinians, the people of Palestine, and their resistance to Israeli occupation. Let me walk into your living room and take over your section and say it's my shit now. And then how are you going to respond to that occupation? I understand the people of Palestine and their resistance to this occupation. I mean, again, politically, I don't understand. I don't know the compromises made or how we got there to the state of Israel, but in a literal sense. People lived there. Other people came in, took their spot, and said, it's mine now. I understand why they fight. Now, I will say I don't agree with the methods that the former PLO under Yasser Arafat, Hamas, and Hezbollah now currently engaged this battle in. I don't agree with the method. I don't agree with the methods just because I don't understand how that furthers your cause. And here's what I mean. First of all, ain't nobody in Hezbollah and Hamas listening to me, but if your ultimate goal is to get your homeland back, I don't understand walking into a crowded marketplace with weapons strapped to your body and blowing it up. I don't understand how that furthers your goal. It causes terror, yes. It scares people, yes. But at the end of the day, nothing changes. You've just killed some people and made headline or made the news cycle for a few days, and you've accomplished nothing. So I don't understand. I don't agree with the methods that they use. But I understand the sentiment behind it. You in my home. Get out. Again, this may be way more common, maybe oversimplifying this. And I'm willing to acknowledge that. But I've been looking at this conflict from afar, of course, over the past, few years. And Israel seems to be really the aggressor in a lot of the instances. Now, this may be a result of years of Palestinian aggression, and, this may be them flipping the script. That's entirely possible. But Israel has been the aggressor in a lot of these conflicts that I've seen lately. And the problem with that is the United States and other countries unconditionally support Israel in their brand of terrorism. Now, here's where it gets really complex, because the United States has unilaterally said and constantly said, we support Israel's right to defend itself. And on some level, yeah, I get that. Yeah, we should be supporting Israel in their ability to defend themselves. The issue with that is, though, Israel is doing a lot of offensive movements rather than defensive movements lately. October 7th notwithstanding. October 7th was see, Hamas did some things on October 7th that were reprehensible. That's undeniable. And it goes back to what I was saying about the methods of how they go about doing their things I don't agree with. But in this most empirical level, this is ongoing conflict. It's me fighting you. You hit me, I hit you back. I hit you first, you hit me back. It's methods I don't like, but I understand the sentiment behind it. But Israel has been the aggressor, which throws the United States in a weird spot. Because we speak to, we will support your right to defend yourself, but Israel is doing more offending than defending lately. So where do we stand with that? See, I'm a firm believer in supporting your allies when they're doing right. But don't be afraid to say, all right, y'all, you're on some bullshit right now. I'm going to need y'all to stop this. I'm giving you billions of dollars. I'm going to need you all to sit down at the table with whoever you need to sit down at the table with. And we need a ceasefire. We need y'all to stop. Come up with something. And y'all need to end this conflict before it devolves into a world war. When folks start taking sides. See, the United States has that kind of ability, that kind of power to say, look, we send y'all billions of dollars. We might have to reconsider that if you all continue to be the aggressors. We need to sit down and come up with something. If I'm Joe Biden, I'm saying that. I mean, hell, you've got nothing to lose. But throw Israel's prime minister in the equation, then that throws another layer in the game. Netanyahu is Israel's version of Donald Trump. Isolationist and bombastic, and from what I'm understanding is holding on to power as much as he can to keep his ass out of jail. And it's well known that Netanyahu is a Trump fan. And to that end, I think Israel has an October surprise up its sleeve. It's a trope, I don't even know what to call it, but there's always some kind of during an election season, what's called an October surprise. There's always something that seems to happen during the month of October in election season that kind of shakes up the race. I always thought that there might be a few this year. I'm not going to say what my first one is because I don't feel like getting sued. But I think the first one is going to be in regards to J.D. Vance and some sort of revelation about his life. But I also think that Israel is going to provide an October surprise to try to hand Trump the election on the silver platter. I would not put it past Netanyahu to ramp up the tensions in that region to light the fires of a regional war, to try to damage Kamala Harris to try to damage Joe Biden and Harris by extension. He has a vested interest in keeping Trump or getting Trump back into power. If for no other reason, he knows that Trump is easily manipulated with flattery and whatever. So he's going to do what he needs to do. I mean, they're already in conflict. What's really stopping him from starting a war? It's become clear the United States won't step in the middle of it and say, okay, you on that bullshit. So he has unfettered access to do what he wants to do. So what's stopping him? So while Israel's right to defend itself is undeniable, I just believe these days they're doing more offending than defending. And if the United States and our allies aren't careful, we'll get dragged into a world war that we don't want any parts of. So if I'm Biden, I'm just saying, look, y'all, that's enough. We can keep our billions of dollars if we don't want to act right and move on. We can keep moving. You can cripple that country if you want to. And again, this is all about Israel being the aggressors. I mean, that's not even beyond. That's beyond them taking over land that people have lived on for thousands of years. I mean, that's a whole different conversation. So this is a shorter one. I kind of just wanted to get that out. Be careful. Keep your eyes peeled, because I believe something's coming from Israel trying to help Trump. I don't know if it'll work. Just saying it's out there. But again, tell your friends, tell your Romans, tell your countrymen about this podcast. Get it out there. Like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell to be notified. All that good stuff. And until we meet again, I actually have nothing clever to say in this one, so I'll just say peace.